All right, welcome back. Today, we're diving into something really profound, the law of expression. It's a spiritual concept that really gets you to question one of the most fundamental feelings we have. You know, that feeling that we're somehow separate from the universe, from the divine. And the whole idea really kicks off with this massive question. Think about it. What if that feeling of separation, of being this little individual island, isn't just a bit off? What if it's a complete illusion? That's the core premise we're unpacking here. So let's just dig into that for a second. This idea of separation being an illusion. The philosophy we're looking at says that getting past this feeling, well, that's the absolute key. It's step one to really understanding who we are and how we're connected to, well, everything. Now, here's the big twist, the part that can kind of blow your mind. This isn't about a journey to become one with God or the universe. The point is, you already are. It's not some far-off goal you have to strive for. It's a truth that's already here, waiting for you to just wake up to it. And when you get that, it changes the whole game. Okay, so if we're already one with the source, you might be asking, how does that even work, right? Well, there's a framework for this, and it's called the law of expression. You can think of it like a cosmic rulebook for how things come into being, a universal law of cause and effect. Basically, what this law says is that everything you see, I mean everything, the trees, the stars, you, me, it's not something made by a separate creator. It is the creator expressing itself, taking form. The whole universe is just this incredible, visible manifestation of a single, invisible source. And it's not chaotic. There's a definite pattern to it, a clear path. It always kicks off with what's called the principle. That's the invisible source, the big idea, the cause. Then it flows through expression, which is the process of it all coming into being. And finally, you get the example, the thing you can actually see and touch, the result, the effect. And this three-step dance, source, process, result, it's not just a one-off thing. It's everywhere. It's so fundamental that the source material actually calls it the Trinity of creation. And honestly, once you see this pattern, it unlocks the whole concept. Okay, check this out. This is where it really clicks. This table shows that same three-part pattern playing out in totally different ways. So on a divine level, you've got God the Creator as the source, God the creating as the process, and God the creature as the result. But look, it's the exact same pattern as being, action, and result. See? It's all just different words for the same creative flow. And this leads us to the absolute heart of the matter. The result, the creature, is never, ever separate from the cause, the creator. They aren't two different things. They're just two parts of one single, whole, unified process, like two sides of the very same coin. All right, so let's pull this back down to earth, back to us. If we're the result in this whole cosmic equation, and we know the result is one with the source, what on earth does that mean for who we are, for our very identity? Well, the source material points out this tiny little mistake we make in our language that has huge consequences. We say, I have a body, or I have a spirit, right? Like they're things we own. The big shift here is to realize you don't have them, you are them. You are spirit, mind, and body all wrapped up into one complete, unified expression. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? I and my Father are one. It's not about a partnership, like two separate CEOs working together. It's a one-ment, a total fusion with that creative source. And from that unity, perfect results can flow. This is a classic metaphor, but it's perfect here. The vine and the branches. I mean, think about it. A branch isn't separate from the vine, is it? It's a direct part of the vine. It gets all its life, all its juice from that one single source. And in this view, that's us. We are the branches extending directly from the divine. So, if we are these direct expressions of the source, how does that creative process actually work through us? The law of expression lays out a super specific sequence for this. It's like a creative waterfall that begins deep, deep within our own being. It all starts with the most fundamental thing there is, the awareness of your own existence. I am. Not I am this or I am that, just I am. That's pure being. That's the ground floor, the silent, conscious source where everything else begins. And from that quiet state of just being, the next step naturally follows thought. Consciousness starts to stir. Before you can do anything, before you can make anything happen in the world, an idea has to pop up in your mind, right? So, I think. But thoughts can be kind of fuzzy, right? Formless. So the next step is to give them some shape, some definition. We do that with words. We organize those thoughts. We turn them into concepts. We give them power when we speak them. And there you have it. That's the whole cascade. From that deep sense of I am, to the focused I think, to the structured I speak. That's how we finally get to I create. That's how we express ourselves and bring things into our reality. Okay, so this is all really cool, big picture stuff. But what does it mean for us on a Tuesday afternoon? What's the real world takeaway? How does seeing ourselves this way actually change how we live? Well, the first big change is this. You can let go of the struggle. Seriously, if your true divine nature is already here, right now, then life stops being this endless battle to become something better or more worthy or more successful. Instead, it's all about just allowing that perfection that's already inside you to just unfold. And a really practical way to do this is through affirmation. You're consciously reminding yourself, aligning yourself with this truth. You're saying, I am unlimited in my being, I am unlimited in my actions, I am unlimited in my results. And why can you say that? Because you're plugged into an unlimited source. When you really get this, it doesn't just change how you see yourself. It changes how you see everyone and everything. You realize we're not a bunch of separate little pieces running around. We're all integral, essential parts of one gigantic, harmonized whole. And that whole has one purpose: to express itself. So, at the end of the day, this whole philosophy kind of brings it all back to you with one last really powerful question. If it's true, if you really are a direct, inseparable expression of something infinite, then what are you going to choose to express today?